Okay, now let's look at this question on the board. There are three things I'm going to show us on how to solve this question. We have three ways we can solve it, and the three ways will be dependent upon the exam condition you find yourself as a student. Now, the first way is this. I'll solve this the non-simplified way. Then I'll teach you how to solve it if you're in an exam condition. You're working with time. How you can quickly get your answer without going through the long process. Alright, now let's look at the question. We have x squared minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. What the question is asking us to solve is and get a value for x is because this is equal to 0. If I take equal to 0 here, it will affect the question. The question won't be solved. The question will be factorized. Alright? Factorized or simplified, not solved. Why we can solve this is because it is equated to something, and that is 0. Now what's the first thing we do? Now every quadratic equation has two sections. There's a section we call the sum section, and there's a section we call the product section. Alright? Now, the sum section is always the number that is a coefficient of x. So even if the question is scattered, rearrange it in this format. Alright? And look for the number that is the coefficient of x. And that number is minus 5. That is where the sum section comes in. For the product section, look at the constant c, because every quadratic equation can be written as this: ax squared plus bx plus a constant. Alright, so look for c, the constant that is not a coefficient of either x or x squared, that is standing alone, and that is what? Plus 6. There are some cases where they will add a number to this place. Let's say they have 2, for instance, here. So to get the product section, we multiply that constant by the coefficient of x squared, which is 2, and we get 12 here. But since nothing is here, we have 6. Okay, let's proceed. Now, what do we do next? All we need to do, our focus is on the product. We look for two numbers we can multiply that will give us plus 6. So what are those two numbers? We have 6 and 1 will give us 6. And we also have what? We have 2 and 3. Or 3 and 2, which will give us 6. Also don't forget that negative 2 and negative 3 will also give you plus 6. Don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget. Now, having looked at the possible values that will give me this, nothing else. Nothing else. So what do I do? I have 3 factors. I have 6 and 1. I have plus 2 and plus 3. I have minus 2 and minus 3. 3 sets. 1, 2, 3. Out of the 3 of them, which one will I add or subtract that will give me minus 5? If I use plus 6 plus 1, plus 6 plus 1 will give me 7 plus 7 plus 6 plus 1. I'm using these 2 now. Will give me plus 7. I can't use this. I need the one that will give me minus 5. Plus 2 plus 3 will give me plus 5. Close. But I need the one that will give me minus 5. Minus 2 minus 3 will give us minus 5. Don't forget, out of the pair of factors you have, you can now have up to 5 factors, 6 factors, 10 factors. Only one of them will give you the sum you need, and that is minus 2 and minus 3. So if you're in an exam condition and the question is to factorize, alright? We want to factorize the question. What do we do? Simple. Just open 2 brackets. Okay? X minus. If the exam is an objective exam or you're working with time, once you've gotten your 2 factors quickly, alright? Just open 2 brackets, x minus is a rule. Then put your first factor there. What is the first factor? I have minus 2 and I have minus 3. Okay, so sorry, put x and x, sorry. So you have x and x. Alright, so you have minus 2 and minus 3. So just drop the two factors inside. So the only thing I'm going to have in the bracket is x and x. Then once you're done with x in the first bracket, x in the second bracket, you put your -2 and you put your -3. So that if I expand this, I'm going to get back to this. But if you're in a theory condition or you're asked to show your work, how did we get this answer? Simple. We only factorize. Okay. Now, what do we do at that point? Simple. So our factors are -2x and -3x. So -2, -3. Okay, -2x and -3x. So what do we do? Our question, x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. What do I'm going to break it down? So I'm going to have x squared minus 5x, we're getting our factors, minus 2x minus 3x plus 6. That will give us equal to 0. Moving on, we have the next thing to do, two brackets. So we check what is common here. X is common. X can divide both x squared and 2x. So x divided, we have x. X divided x squared, we have x. Minus x divided 2x, we have 2. Then minus. Now, because coming to this place, before we put this bracket, this is what we had before. Now, if I put bracket after a negative sign, it will affect the sign inside. So that if I expand this, don't forget, once I put in bracket after a negative sign, in working a quadratic equation, if the negative sign will affect the sign. So if the sign I have here was initially plus, it will change to minus. If the sign I have here was initially minus, and I put bracket in front of the minus sign, the sign will become what? A positive sign. So the sign will alter the sign you have here. Alright, so what do we do from here? If I open, if I expand this, I'm going to have, if I open the bracket, minus 3x plus 6. Okay, so I'll get back my original plus 6. So what do I do from here? So 3 is common. 3 can divide 3 and 6. So I bring out 3. I'm going to have 3 divided 3x, I'm going to have x remaining. And 3 divided 6, I'm going to have 2. Now, how do you know you are correct? You get the same factors in the bracket. The same thing. Once you get the same thing here and here, it's a proof that you are correct. So our answer, we'll pick one of them, x minus 2, and then the outside one, we'll bring them together. X and what? Minus 3 equals to 0. Stopping here means we have factorized this quadratic equation. But they want us to solve the quadratic equation. So we equate each of them to 0. So we have x minus 2 equals 0. If minus 2 comes here, it becomes plus 2. So x equals to 0 plus 2. And that gives us x equals to 2. The same, we take this one. X minus 3 equals to 0. Minus 3 comes here, becomes plus 3. So we have x equals to 0 plus 3. And x is equals to 3. So therefore, our answer is x equals to 2 or x equal to 3. I hope you understand. So this is the first part we have looked at, where there are actually, I think, 3 cases or 4 cases. So we have looked at the first case where you have minus and plus. So the next class we're going to look at a case where you have plus and minus, and then in subsequent classes we're going to have minus, minus, and plus, plus. Plus, plus is very simple. That's the simplest. You don't have to worry about sign because you have positive sum and positive product. Thank you very much. Please like and share this video so that many students struggling with stuff like this can understand them easily, and on their own they can solve it. Thank you very much.